The taxi pulled over at the side of the starlit road, the tires screeching over the empty streets. It had been a long night of partying, and I was tipsy, but not quite drunk. I remember my boyfriend helping me in the vehicle, and that I felt apprehensive to get in at first, as the taxi seemed broken down. On the outside, I could visibly see one of the windows was cracked and the bottom of the car was rusting away. As I went in, the doors kept screeching as I opened them, and the smell was that of my brother's old room. "Do you think we could try and get another taxi?" I whispered to my boyfriend. "There aren't any other taxis in sight, babe," and he shut the door. He could tell I felt uneasy. I kept shaking off my seat, partially due to the cold night. He knew exactly what to do in times such as these. Breaking the silence, he cracked a little joke that made me chuckle slightly. I loved it when he did that, lifted my spirit. He flashed a funny face, which made me burst out loud in laughter. The driver looked back at me with a baffled look in his face. He stared at me for a while, examining me from head to toe. When I shifted on my seat, he turned his head back to the wheel. The driver made me feel uncomfortable, sending chills down my spine when he looked at me. I held my boyfriend's hand and he faced me with a wide grin. I looked at him with stern eyes and he knew to stay quiet. Nobody spoke for the rest of the ride, but occasionally the driver would look back at me with a strange look on his face. It was starting to feel creepy, so I told my boyfriend to hold me tight. I told him I felt cold, but really I just needed him to feel safe. As he embraced me, I shivered at his touch. "Baby, you feel cold. Is the weather getting to you?" I asked. "Sure, baby," he replied. The loud roar of music suddenly played, making my heart skip a beat. I looked to the front and realized the driver had turned on the radio. I escaped my boyfriend's grasp in frustration and quietly stared out the window. The driver continuously searched through the stations until settling to the local news. The reporters talked about how an apartment building had been engulfed by flames earlier today, and how, amazingly, all of the tenants survived. I was filled with joy as I heard this. "That's too bad. I was really hoping for something interesting on the news," the driver said. As my joy was replaced with utter disgust, I asked my boyfriend, "Remind me again why we didn't take your car." "I saw it parked on the other side of the road. Well, when I went over to it, it wasn't working for some reason," he explained. Feeling dissatisfied with his explanation, I looked back out window. For a while, the only noise that could be heard was that of the radio. There was a tragic accident today on Oxford Drive. I turned my head back as the news story on the radio caught my attention. "Oxford Drive, isn't that where we just were?" I asked. The news continued. It seemed that the accident was a hit and run, with the suspect nowhere in sight. The victim is a Caucasian male at 22 years of age, and it seems that his head had been severed in the accident. Using the driver's license found in his back pocket, the police were able to identify the man as Harold Morris. I looked at my boyfriend, astonished.